My name is André Eriksen. I'm the CEO and founder of Asetek. I've been involved in racing myself for more or less all my life. When I was a teenager, I did motocross myself for several years. Then I was out of it for a number of years because I was building Asetek. And in 2007, my family and I moved to California to start up our US office. And a good friend over there introduced me to go-karts. So I started to race go-karts at Sonoma Raceway, and I did that for a number of years. Both my kids, Sophie and Valdemar, were racing go-karts. On top of that, I moved into Formula cars, something called Pro Formula Master. I would say for almost 10 years, we spent more or less every weekend on the racetrack. After we moved back to Denmark in 2014, I continued doing a little bit of go-kart. My son continued through the Formula ranks, did Formula 4, Formula 3. So we are still, let's say, heavily involved in racing, as you can also see behind me here. I built my own first simulator, also in California in 2007. For my son Valdemar, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I built a Formula 3 simulator. It was based on Højsinkvæl pedals, it was based on Leo Bodnar steering, and for the top we used, or the monocoque if you want, we used Daniel Kvyat's, the Formula 1 driver, his former Formula Renault chassis. I also, just out of interest, know a little bit about simulators. I built a few myself, but I never really saw simulators as a business area for Asetek. For many reasons. One of them is that it's a little bit far away from liquid cooling, at least at the first impression. Secondly, sometimes it can be dangerous to mix pleasure and business. But a couple of years back, we founded something we call the Asetek eSports Academy. It's essentially a big room where we have, I think, 15 Alienware PCs, obviously Alienware PCs with Asetek liquid cooling inside. And we made this academy so the young people in the region we live here in Denmark, they can come actually for free and practice eSports and game and have fun. And as a part of that, we also bought and installed 6 driving simulators. What we learned was that it was actually pretty difficult to keep these simulators running. There was driver issues, there was firmware issues, there was quality issues, steering wheel not working, pedals not working, broken seat, broken frame. There was a lot of problems keeping these simulators alive. And then one day I looked at it, let's say more with a business perspective and say, you know what, I think with the knowledge we have about racing and I think with the knowledge we have about mechatronics, I think we can do this better. And then we started to look into it, and that was actually, let's say, early beginning of Asetek SimSports adventure.